MotoMan. 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 MotoMan.
What, Emmy?
What's going on? What are you doing here at the New York International Auto Show?
I'm from New York. This is my hometown.
But I thought you lived in California.
Well, I sort of do.
Okay.
But I still carry my Metro card.
Hey, did you hear about my last race?
Oh, the one where you flipped over and
Yeah,
still
we
won?
rolled over it 1 3/4 times, and we still got second place.
Okay, so
pretty
you
awesome.
guys, I know you know Emmy. Emmy rocks.
pretty awesome.
But Emmy's not cool because she drives new cars. She's cool because she races cars.
Old ones, real slow.
Really cool cars. And she drives a cool car.
Yep, Mazda Speed Miata.
Yeah. But you're
Woo!
coming to visit me, aren't you?
I will. I'll be in California.
Okay, and you're going to race?
Yes, in July.
Okay, so follow Emmy. How do they follow you?
MM Motorsports on the Twitters and the Instagrams.
Okay, so beat it. I got to talk about
All right,
Lincoln
go.
now.
You talk
See
about
ya.
that thing. Bye.
Bye. Okay, now let's get back to luxury. So Lincoln, it's been a very long time since you and I have talked about Lincoln. And full disclosure, there's been a lot of stuff going on behind the scenes, but they haven't been telling us much. And then, frankly, this is the surprise of the show. No one knew that this was going to be dropped at New York. There was discussions of an MKS replacement, but there was always a discussion of it called MKS. But thankfully, we have a name. It's called the Continental. So we don't know much about it other than this is going to replace the MKS. We know that it's going to be either a front or all-wheel drive platform, and we know it's going to be an EcoBoost type engine. After all, it's a Ford product. But from there, we don't know the rest of the details. Now, I personally, hey, Mark, how about rear drive? How about coming with, I love this color, by the way. But there are some tricks I want to show you here, and these are some great design tricks. So let's take a look at the taillights here. You guys familiar? Remember when Dave Perisic showed us those cool taillights on the Mustang, how they sequence? This does the sequence, but not just out, all the way around. Now come on in here. Did I say I love the color? Then take a look at the interior. Now in reality, if you are selling cars in the luxury market nowadays, it isn't cliche. You're selling a car worldwide, whether it's in Europe, China, or the US. Now, Lincoln is making it very clear that they're trying to sell more cars in China. If you look at their numbers, they currently have 11 dealers, but you know what is little known is the top 2 selling dealers, Lincoln dealers in the world, are not in the US, they're in China. And so this is why you have a seat like this that goes into chauffeur mode. So you remember when we did the S-Class back in 2014, they've got this first-class type experience where you've got a footrest and the seat goes all the way forward. And notice there's like a briefcase built into the back of the seat. And then there's this tray table a la Rolls-Royce, but take a look. It's actually like an iPad. Actually, this is a Surface tablet. And then there's a leather-covered keyboard. But wait, there is more. Take a look at the sunroof. It's fixed. I mean, this is a concept car, so this is very much a China doll. Go figure. And notice that the sunroof, in the Mercedes-Benz, they do what's called a magic sky control. Lincoln is doing a smart roof here, so it changes the tint, and this acts as the sunshade as opposed to a separate sunshade. And then while we're in here, notice some of the details. Granted, I love the center console going all the way through. Not sure if this is going to make it to production like this or potentially be an option in the cars that go into, say, into the Chinese market or even like the livery market here in New York City. And then look at some of the other details. It's a reinterpretation of some of the Ford switchgear. I'll be honest with you guys, I've never been a huge Lincoln fan, and I've kind of felt the design has been lost as of late. But this is kind of the first big switch that they've shown that they're really taking it seriously, and I would argue that's a big thing from Mark Fields and his really love for the Lincoln brand. But we'll have to get together with him and talk more about that.
Speaking of interiors.
Speaking of interiors, exactly.
Yes.
Before we even get into this one,
Okay.
what's your take on Lincoln? I want the girl's perspective.
I think that there's been some great design coming out of Lincoln, especially the MKC.
Oh, the C. Did you drive the C?
I have not driven that.
I haven't driven that either. Yeah.
But I feel like it's like undersold, it's undermarketed a little
Really?
bit. So you don't, it's like, oh, that's a really good looking car. You see it on the road, but
Yeah.
you don't see that many of them.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
you don't see a lot of or MKZ, the sedan. I can't keep all the numbers. I can't keep all the numbers and letters straight.
Which is even better when they put a name on this thing.
Yes,
Isn't that great?
Yes.
Thank you for giving us a name.
Thank you. A name that we will remember. And so anyway, the sedan, I think, is kind of an underdog a little bit, but it'd be a great car.
Yeah.
Looks really good, great design, but maybe just the awareness is too low on some of their vehicles. Overall, I think they're doing a good job. I'm excited to see them back with the Continental.
I love that they did a name.
Making a statement.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But what do you think of the car? What do you think of the design?
Well, interior is definitely just better than anything I think you would expect from Lincoln. It's just,
by far.
Just
yeah.
beautiful blue suede. I love how they, matching the blue of the paint to the blue of the interior, the detail that went into that.
With your glasses.
Blue is great.
Yeah.
I think some of the details on the car that are probably for show for the concept vehicle, once that gets fleshed out and going to production process, I think it's going to be a really, really nice, classy, kind of timeless looking Continental.
Here's my take.
All right.
It's the first thing from Lincoln that tells me that Lincoln's alive. I will definitely say that. I'm not with you on the MKZ.
Okay.
I think the MKC, the small crossover,
yeah.
I think they did a good job with that on overall
Definitely.
design. It's just an incredibly tough segment to compete with.
Oh, it's very competitive.
Very, very tough segment.
It's the biggest segment right now.
Yeah, it's the biggest growing segment, too. But, so the design, I think, there's a bold design statement with this car, no doubt about it.
Yes.
I like the proportions of it. And I actually do like the interior. I would have liked to have seen a contrast.
Well, they have that big chrome center stack, which is not realistic for
for
everyday driving or production. Or if you live like in Florida or California or Arizona, you're going to be blinded. Great for Seattle, though.
Do you remember when you were here when Derek was here? I was needling him about the Bill Blass type Lincolns from the 70s.
Oh, yeah.
That's what the coloring of that car reminds me of, and some of the detail
yeah.
Where I personally would like to see like that blue on the outside.
You think it's more of a throwback?
I think the coloring and the trim choices are.
Throwback,
but the design isn't.
Okay.
Like, I would have loved to have seen that blue with like a saddle interior. Or a light gray, to really, because the details in there are awesome. Did you see the briefcase they got in there?
Yeah, I think I would keep the interior, change the outside maybe to
that's fine too.
A matte paint, something that's not glossy.
You're very fancy.
Just something to kind of contrast all the chrome.
Yeah.
So a little bit more of that forward design choices that you think about maybe in your home and some of the elements, mixing those metals and finishes. I think that would have kind of given it a little bit more of a more modern, like forward-thinking perspective.
Totally agree.
Yeah.
Because I feel like because there are cool details in it.
Oh, yeah.
They're just lost in all this blue. And I'm a guy, I've said this to the audience many times, blue is my favorite color.
Yeah.
So I'm just at a point where it's like, I'd love to see that change. I love the roof. Did you see how it's got the sky control from... I call it sky control because it's Mercedes, but they call it smart roof or something like that. And it does the auto tinting thing to change the opacity of the roof. It's really cool.
That's cool.
What else did they... Oh, and did you see the taillights?
I saw the taillights. Did you notice the headlights, though? Each little LED module or HID module has the Lincoln little kind of crosshairs logo. And
I didn't see that.
And on the front, the grill, the whole grill is that Lincoln, shape. And then you got the big Lincoln badge. It lights up. So a lot of reinforcement of what the brand is. I think some of that will be fleshed out a little bit.
Now I'm going to ask you the $64,000 question.
Okay.
Are you ready? Do you think they will build that?
Yeah, I think they'll build a version of it.
A version of it. Okay. You know what? That's a very prudent answer. Now, here's the real tough question: front drive or rear drive, or all-wheel drive?
All-wheel drive.
So you don't think they'll do a dedicated rear drive in that car?
Maybe, if they already have the platform.
Yeah. Okay, so maybe they take a Mustang platform. How about that? Extend it out.
Yeah.
Murder the car out. Put like this super.
The wheels are already ready for that.
Yeah.
They look like they're ready for production.
Take that 600 horsepower EcoBoost from the Ford GT, throw it in that thing.
I mean, that is not a bad idea. You should go work for Dub. You could like dub out the Continental.
No problem. How are you, baby?
Much better now.
Good.
You know, I tell you, I come by, normally this booth, it's a ghost town. This time I come by, it's like 10 people deep.
Oh, and that's your fault.
How is it my fault?
Well, you and I had a conversation in Chicago that happened to get filmed.
Yes,
and
it
it's
did.
gone somewhat viral, and I understand now that I have a new moniker.
Oh, so everyone now comes and sees the Preacher Man.
Indeed.
As they should.
I don't mind, though. That title I will proudly.
Because they got to come and get your blessings.
Indeed.
But I don't know how you do it. What's that saying you have where you're like,
It is
your
what it
blessings,
is,
whatever.
and it shall be what it shall be. Your blessings are your blessings alone.
Yeah, but how do you stay focused on that?
Because I understand that my positives outweigh my negatives. Absolutely. Without question. There's a lot of things that we can focus on that will drain us of energy. And with those things we need to give a little bit of thought, but not give too much thought because they'll drain you. And you won't even have the energy to focus on.
When you're in the
those
middle of it, how do you stay focused on those things that won't drain the energy?
Because you understand this saying, this too shall pass.
How do you make everything so simple?
Because it is. I think we have a tendency to make it complicated. And we shouldn't.
You know, I saw you last time in Chicago, right?
Absolutely.
So here was an example. How do you deal with a situation where you think it's this like amazing, special, unexpected gift, and that's what happened in Chicago.
Okay.
But then, like almost 2 hours in, it turned into this weird, odd, negative. How do you deal with a situation like that?
Then I ask you this. Did you go in simply open-minded and just enjoying the experience? Or did you go in or...
Didn't expect it. Wasn't expecting it
But
to
once
happen.
you got a taste of it, were you looking for more and more and more as opposed to just enjoying the ride? Well, it got to the point where you may have started to expect it to go left,
Yes.
and it went right.
It went backwards.
It went backwards. But when it goes backwards, you know what you do? You stand there, you shake hands, you say it's a pleasure meeting you, and you keep it moving.
My brother.
My brother.
It's always a pleasure.
Indeed. Without question.
Okay. I'll see you next time.
You shall.
Make sure you come and see the Preacher Man. And he's got a new car, by the way. So here's the script. Click here to subscribe. Click here to watch one of our 350 other episodes. And most importantly, share us with your friends. You're already wasting half your life on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. MotoManTV, all one word. I don't care who you share us with. Share us with your enemies. Just give the gift of MotoMan.